What's up guys, Aaron here, and in today's video I want to give you just a brief description of why I think at this point in your off season, distance is more important than hang time. Here we go. Alright, so if you're clicking on this video, you're obviously probably a punter, you're working in your off season, you're getting ready for camp season. The PuntFactory Camps start next Saturday, the 27th in Houston, and you're probably thinking, what does this guy mean that distance is more important than hang time? I'm going to explain it as quick as I can, but as thoroughly as I can to keep this video short, simple, and concise, okay? So number one, the reason distance is more important than hang time is because what it does to your body position and the way that you approach a certain punt at this point in your off season. So what I mean by that is this. When you think about trying to hit a ball with a lot of hang time, okay, there are more bad things that can come from it than typically good things, especially for a young punter who's developing at this point during the year. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that at this point in phase one, which I call it, everything should be about technique, stripping yourself down to the bare bones, and kind of re-going over and reteaching your body everything proper muscle memory, etc. So when you think about hitting a ball with a lot of hang time, typically two things happen, right? The ball comes up, the drop table comes up, and the shoulders come back. Doing those two things alone, okay, can make you have a lot of inconsistencies, can lead to a lot of mishits and a lot of balls going high and short. If you're a righty, they'll go high and short left a lot of times. If you're a lefty, they'll go high and short to the right. The problem with that is that once you start hitting that type of ball, once you start making those mistakes, they typically lead to other mistakes, to you mentally getting down on yourself, and they kind of take you down a really bad rabbit hole. So if you're thinking about hang time, the number one most important thing to think about is hang time comes from being powerful and having a good body position. So as I said, when you're thinking about hang time, the number one thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is that it usually leads you to make bad technical errors. Okay, so what it'll do is it'll make you raise up, it'll make you raise your ball up, and unless you hit that thing absolutely clean and in a lot of times get lucky, then you'll make a lot of mistakes, you'll become inconsistent, and you'll teach yourself improper muscle memory, improper mechanics. Think about the opposite of that, right? When you're thinking about distance, the first thing you typically do is lower your drop a little bit and bring your shoulders more over the ball. I'm a big believer that right now, everything should be about getting our body in the proper position and teaching our body to attack the ball. So attack the ball means keeping the shoulders forward, which instinctively keeps the hips back. Typically when we do this, it's really hard to raise the drop table, right? It's really hard to bring your arm up. It just doesn't feel right. So what happens is just by default, you bring your ball down a little bit, or at the minimum, you keep your ball in the same position. So by thinking about getting distance, you're training your shoulders to stay forward and your hips back. You're putting yourself in a very powerful, consistent position, and the ball is going to get downfield. Now, I believe, and this is number two, by doing this early in your off season, it's a lot easier to now come up through the ball more later, i.e. relaxing your arm, i.e. shortening your steps and swinging up, than it is to go from being tall with a high drop and bringing that forward and down, if that makes sense, okay? So I'm teaching all my guys right now when I'm doing the training and development weekends and even in the camps, I'm thinking about the thought process of attacking the ball downfield, getting my shoulders forward, keeping my ball still and in the proper position, which is usually around the belly button, and really attacking the football and driving downfield. If you're a guy that has to, if you want to be going directional right now, maybe you're a college player, etc. If you think about punting the ball towards the right numbers, let's say you're right-footed, you're punting towards the numbers, okay? If you sit tall and bring your ball up, a lot of times those balls we hit down the middle of the field, down the hash. Those are bad balls, right? And again, if you're not versed enough, if you're not in the know enough, what'll happen is you start to think, oh, my drop's inside this, and you start fixing things that aren't even broken, right? If I'm trying to hit the ball 40 yards downfield to the numbers, and I'm thinking, let's get distance, let's keep my shoulders forward, a lot of times, even if I miss-hit that punt, it's still gonna go in the direction that I want it to go in, okay? So not only are you kind of still working on a good line and getting your shoulders forward, etc., but you're also then not going to lead yourself to start stressing about why am I missing my spot and potentially going down an even worse path. So to sum it up, why distance is more important than hang time right now is, number one, it keeps your body in a really good attack-minded position, therefore training you to be in a better position going into later stages of the off season. Number two, it won't allow you to create new bad habits. It won't allow your ball to raise, your shoulders to get tall. And then number three, I didn't touch on this yet, but number three, right now you should just be beginning or in the beginning stages of your off-season strength and conditioning program, okay? You're not as strong as you're gonna be in July and August going into season. Therefore, if you miss a ball high and short, that ball may go 32 yards, right? 35 yards. And what'll happen is it'll wear on you mentally and you start stressing. If you're thinking about getting downfield and you're mishitting punts that are going, 44 to 48, 3.5 to 4.2, let's just say you're a young punter and you start hitting 44-yard 3.6s, that's serviceable, right? That'll make you feel like, hey, I'm really close. I'm getting there. I'm working on good things. So if you're an older punter and you're hitting 48 4.0s, 4.1s, but in the spot that you want to hit, that's a lot easier to work from and to develop from and to stay mentally strong, as opposed to hitting 39 4.6s that aren't going anywhere. I guess the easiest way to sum up the video is I believe it's easier to attack the ball downfield in this part of your off season in phase one and then slowly bring it up, which we'll go over in later videos, weeks from now. It's easier to do that than it is to be up and tall, hit the balls high and short, and then all of a sudden before a camp, before spring ball, before a competition, someone tells you to get more distance and you're trying to repattern your whole body, okay? So that's my video for today. That's why distance is more important than hang time. It's all about technique, as you know, with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I hope you guys are having a great week. I'm off to California this weekend and then my first camp Houston next weekend in Texas. Hope the weather's better. Until then, I'll see you guys. Peace.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. To continue along with this journey and watch this channel grow, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel.